Ironjawz points update. Let's have a look at all the units that got point changes and see if we can't kind of derive some information from this. But of course, first, thanks to all the patrons. Wah. Okay, so Ardboys did not get a change. No change to Ardboys and no change to Brutes. I think, yeah, like, I think this is fine. I think maybe it would have been nice if Brutes came down a little bit. I think if Brutes were 180, I think they'd be really scary. I'm not arguing that they should have come down. I'm just saying that it would have been nice if they came down. But they didn't. Neither did Ragers, and neither did Rekkas. No change to Ragers and Rekkas. The only difference is that the soggy Rekkas are 240 now, right? They're a little bit... Or, sorry. Scourge, Weird Root Rekkas. Sorry, this isn't 240. This is 220. They're 110 instead of being 100. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Rekkas are cool. The soggy Rekkas are cool. I'm kind of looking at seeing how they fit into lists, and I'm going to put them on the table and see how they do. But we'll see. I mean, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. I think they have a lot of potential because they give that +1 to hit, right? So it's going to be a lot harder to get that now, and Ironjawz desperately need that. So anything that can give +1 to hit, I think is definitely worth looking at. The Mega Boss did go down in points to 170. This is fantastic because we definitely want to be running a Mega Boss because we want to be playing the soggy Ironjawz sub-faction, right? Which is the Brute Fist. We want to be able to play that, and to do that we have to actually run a Mega Boss. So that's nice. That's a nice little gift, right? Because remember, this has to actually be a Mega Boss and not like a Mega Boss on Maw-krusha. No, ooh, why is that? Oh, that's weird. So that's oh, look at that. My mouse is like off center on this screen. That's weird. Probably need to restart my computer. Anyway, that's cool. So old Gruntas are 180 and the new Gruntas are 200. I've talked about this quite a lot. I should probably make a follow-up video because my math was off for the old Gruntas. I forgot to update it. So the new Gruntas actually deal, on average, less damage, but they fly over stuff, right? The new Gruntas, what is it? It's called this ability, Barge Through. When this unit moves, it can pass through models and enemy infantry units. It can pass through the combat ranges of any infantry units, but it cannot end the move in combat unless specified to do so, right? So basically they fly over infantry. So this is really neat with like Kragnos and with other things too. Even little things like they can pile in over like the corner, right? So it's movement for these big models is nice, but their points didn't change. Now the big pigs is where the point changes get much more interesting. So the Gougers went down to 190. So the momentum damage for the Gouger is approaching 6 damage per 100 points. It's a lot of damage. And then with that strike last, like, the thing too is that it's like the math is different too. Like if you have 2,000 points and you divide it by 190, you can fit 10 Gougers in a list, right? Before, not that that's possible, right? Like you still have to have heroes and everything, but at 210, you know, it's like you might be able to fit one more big pig in a list. In fact, we should just look at that really quick. Let's just do that really quick. Calculator. So let's say that we'll just do some very quick math here. Let's say that we're gonna take, because the Tusk boss and everything went down too. So 240 plus 240, let's say we take a hack and crew, right? So that brings us to 730. So let's say 2,000 minus 730 divided by 190. Oh no, that's wrong. 1270 divided by 190. Sorry, I mistyped. Divided by 190. So being able to fit, so you can do 2 Tusk bosses, Maw-krusha Gouger, and then 6 plus, what was it again? 240 for the new Tusk boss? 240, 240, 250. 1870, which is a $130, and a foot hero, like a wizard. That's a pretty scary list. So it's 6 Gougers, 2 Tusk bosses, although you probably wouldn't even run it 2 Tusk bosses then. But so it's a Tusk boss and a Weird Knob Shaman or a War Chanter. Man, that's a scary looking list. That's a scary looking list. I wish I still had my... I deleted those things. But, like, yeah. Tusk boss. Weird Knob Shaman that also went down in points. 2 Hack and Crews. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Gougers. Exactly 2,000 points. That's a lot of pigs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 big pigs. Who owns 6 Gougers? Like, I don't. But if you wanted to, that's a list you could take. Maybe even the War Chanter might be better in that list, because you're not going to get 2 casts from the Weird Knob Shaman, and priests can banish, right? You could also just like take your Tusk boss and sit him next to a place of power and just to unbind and banish. But yep, it's a lot of pigs. So being cheaper here, it's nice, you know. Yeah, we're fitting more pigs in a list, which is cool. The Hack and Crew stayed the same at 250. That's fine. Hack and Crew is good. 3-up save, right? Like it's a good pig. Might be the best pig. It doesn't deal as much damage as the Tusk boss, who went down another 20 points to 240 points. But the Tusk boss does deal more damage. It can take artifacts and heroic traits, which is a boon. But the Hack and Crew's ability to like move is significant and relevant. So that's pretty neat, especially in a meta where things are moving. So yeah, very good. The Maw-krusha, Mega Boss on Maw-krusha went down 20 points to 340 from 360. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to see any play still, but it's getting closer. It's just one of those sad things when it comes to these units, right? Where if the War Scroll just doesn't really do much, then the points just start to come down until they get to a point where just the number of wounds and save and combat attacks that they do become worth it. And if they get too low, then you can just spam them. And it's like, oh, like I'm playing like 2 Maw-krushas and a Gordrakk because the points just kept coming down. And now they're actually to a point where who cares about their abilities, but they're still just giant pie plates. You know, a 2d6 pile-in is fine, but I wish it was just, I don't know. And especially in this meta or in this season where it's like, I'm sort of going back and forth about shooting in this meta. Like, obviously, I still haven't played a game yet, so I'm still just in that theory crafting stage. I've heard lots of people tell me what they think about the games that they've played, right? Because, obviously, like, there's Discord. My Discord has, how many people? 848. So lots of people, and lots of people are just telling, you know, sharing their experiences with their games. So it's sort of like a collection of all the information from all these people. Gordrakk went down too. So Gordrakk the thing about Gordrakk is that with the changes to all-out attack, his Wa gives all-out attack. So if you're playing like a big pig list, it might be worth doing. It might be worth having him as the second hero, just because he gives like all-out attack. So let's say a Hack and Crew, a Tusk boss, and Gordrakk, 850. 2,000 minus 850 divided by 190. So 6 times 190 plus 240 plus 250 plus, what is it now, 360? Gordrakk's 360. So 6 Gougers, 1 Hack and Crew, 1 Tusk boss, and Gordrakk, 1990. So instead of having a shaman, yeah, that's a list, right? +1 to attacks, or +1 to hits, sorry. Definitely worth thinking about. Same thing with Kragnos. The thing with Kragnos, I think, is that I think with Kragnos you can run a couple of MSU units of Rekkas. 1920 or 1290, sorry, 2000 minus 1290 divided by 190, so that's 3. Yeah, not as many. 3 times 190 plus 240 plus 250 plus 580. 1640, so that's 360. A second hacking crew. Yeah, there's room. There's definitely a lot of more room now. Like with Tusk Boss coming down 20, and with Gougers coming down 20. Like if you were running like 3 Gougers and a Tusk Boss before, you know, that's 80 points. Like it's a lot of points that they're coming down. Kragnos remains unchanged. Right, so those are all the units that I really keep profiles for damage, because obviously like the Weird Knobs and them, they don't matter. So let's have a look at what else here. Weird Knob Shaman comes down 10 points. That's pretty cool because he's in almost every list. Not super impactful, but I like that Ardboy Boss is 120. I like that the War Chanter is 120 and the Weird Knob Shaman is 120. I like that they're all the same point cost, so you can just like interchange them as you want to. You know, I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. I like it when units have the same point cost. Like for example, Ardboys and Gordrakk. Like the fact that they're both 180 is nice. Means that you can just like trade them back and forth as you need to, which is cool.
Daddy, I can't get them downstairs.
So the like the health and stuff won't matter all that much because like our infantry didn't change, right? The Rekkas didn't change. None of these things really changed. So, oh, you were hiding it here, I suppose. And then we're gonna change these formulas too. Times 100. So now we're sort of like survivability, like per 100 instead of it being a decimal, which is a little bit better, I think. Okay, so just if you're new and you don't know how I've sort of set up these tables, what we've done is we've taken the health, like how much health a unit actually has, and then we do a multiplication by the save. So essentially, like the higher the better the save, the bigger the number. You can sort of see it down here. It's like a multiplier. So for example, if you have a 4-up save, it means that your opponent has to do double the amount of damage to you. Like you're gonna take half of the damage because you're gonna save half of the damage that you take, right? Does that make sense? Right, so if I have to make 10 1-damage saves on average, I'm gonna take 5 of that damage instead of 10 of that damage. So it means that my health is sort of doubled relative to like the save that I have, right? And then it's the same thing with a ward, right? We multiply we do another multiplication, a very similar multiplication with wards. Yep, and then it sort of gives us a total, and then we sort of do a division by how many points. Oh, and this one's got to get multiplied by 100 too. And I have some different columns here because there's ones that are just here with Weird Fist, right? Cool. So Ardboys, Brutes, Ragers, Rekkas. We're going to change Rekkas to 110 because we're going to be using the soggy Rekkas, right? We're not really going to be using the old Rekkas. I think it'll just be always the soggy Rekkas. Their ability, I mean, they don't get run in charge, right? But their ability to give +1 to hit is significant. We're going to change Gruntus to 200. I think it's going to be the same kind of, it's going to be the same kind of idea. I think we're mostly going to take Gruntus. Gougers 190, Hacking Crew, Tusk Boss 240, Maw-krusha went down. Sorry, I'm just gonna pull it up again because I just don't want to make any errors. I'm gonna put on my other monitor here. 340, right? Yeah, 340. That's what I thought. I didn't want to be incorrect. Gordrakk 360, and Kragnos stays at 280. Mega Boss 170, War Chanter, yep, stays the same, and then Weird Knob goes to 120. Zogrok. Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about Zogrok. Zogrok went down 10 points, so making him the same as a Mega Boss, which is cool. Again, just being able to interchange them, but it won't matter because we're going to be running a Mega Boss in pretty much every list. But if you change your battle formation away from Brute Fist into something else, you can just swap in Zogrok. Awesome, right? They're both head stompas. It's great. I love it when things are nice and clean and neat like that. Okay, so if we want to look at the units, so really it's the big pigs whose sort of health per point is a lot better now. We can probably actually just hide like almost all of this, but it's okay. We don't need to. Yeah, like health per 100 points. So like the rating that the Tusk boss has is higher than everybody else, and this is one of the reasons too why the Tusk boss is good, right? Because he's got 14 wounds compared to the Hack and Crew's 2. So having a couple more wounds just gives him more survivability, especially now that he's 10 points cheaper. That's one of the things that the Tusk boss is going to bring, is a little bit more survivability. The Gouger is the worst of them. You can see, right? We're sitting at a 12.63 as opposed to the Tusk boss's 17.5 health per point, which is it's like a functional health per point, right? I mean, two things that have 10 wounds each, if one has a 2-up save and a 4-up ward, and the one has a 6-up save and no ward, like, obviously they're not survivable the same, right? It's like a rating. Anyway, I hope that all makes sense. But this is one of the things that the Tusk boss brings, and more damage, right? More survivability. And he also enables your Gougers. I think if you're only taking one big pig, I think you take the Hack and Crew. He's also pretty survivable with a 3-up save and with 12 wounds. The poor thing about the Gouger is that he is on a 4-up save, which makes him significantly less survivable. But that's okay, because they bring some other utility like Strike Last. The Tusk boss can give them more momentum, so they can, you know, deal a little bit more damage on that punch when they come charging in. And then yeah, the Ardboys, Brutes, Rages, Rekkas, all that's going to stay about the same. You get, like, how crazy the Ardboys are. 33.33 health per point. It's a lot. It's like double anything else in the army. Brutes even 22.5 health per 100 points. It's like Gruntas 22.5, same thing, right? They both have 15 wounds, right? This is for 5. Like, it doesn't matter how many brutes, right? This doesn't change. But they both have 15 wounds. They're both on a 3-up save. One of them can have Weird Fist, right? The brutes can have Weird Fist, and the Gruntas can't. So it brings them to about a very similar, except for the brutes do better in Weird Fist, obviously. But 22.5. It's very high. It's very high. And then the foot hero's like, it doesn't matter, right? The Weird Knob Shaman is the least survivable, which makes sense. And the Mega Boss is the Ardboy boss is the most survivable. Really? Right, because he's cheaper. Right, because he's cheaper. Oh, the Mega Boss is only... No, he's 170. But again, these things don't matter. Like, the health per 100 points, or per point, doesn't matter for foot heroes, right? Because you just want to keep them alive at all costs. So it's more about just this section right here that matters, right? It's like, how many wounds do they have? The Mega Boss has more wounds. Zogrok has the next biggest. And then you want to look at, like, their save, right? So the Mega Boss has the 3-up save. And I know that if you're looking at these numbers, like the Weird Knob it's times 1.2 because he has a 6-up save, right? So it's like, whatever, he's gonna, you know, most of his saves are gonna fail. Cool. Yep, I hope that all makes sense. But these point decreases are nice. They were much better for Cruel Boys than they were for Ironjawz, and I think that they are. But I think that they're good. Like, it's nice. And then just as a final note, nothing else costs points. Nothing. No battle formations, heroic traits, artifacts of power, monstrous traits, spell lore, prayer lore, manifestation lore, faction train. Nothing else costs any points, which is phenomenal. It's very good. You know, like, what really does cost points? Oops. Like, I wonder what did go. Anything in destruction at all? Ogre Mod, a heroic trait. Touched by the Everwinter. It's a little surprising. Anything in Gargants? No? Universal Manifestation Lures, right? We all know about this. Yeah, thank goodness. Some armies, I'm telling you, are looking at these and they're running the Universal Manifestation Lures and are not happy about that. The fact that, you know, that their lists cost more points now. But we're really lucky in Orcs because we have the best Manifestation Lure out there? We might. Gloomspike, it's got a couple of things, but we'll talk about that in another video. All right, that's enough rambling for me. Like, subscribe. Wow.